Okay, welcome back. Final segment of X Squared Radio tonight. By the way, you can get all these books that I have. The books you'll see flashing there on your YouTube screen there are available on Amazon. They're all in paperback. They're all available in Kindle as well. And if you buy the paperback or buy the Kindle, I'm going to give you the audio version for free. So if you're not a great reader, or you do a lot of driving, or you're stuck in traffic for a half hour, 45 minutes a day, pick up the paperback, put it on the shelf, and listen to the audiobook in your car. It's really, really good. All those books are good. The trilogy, the Birth Trilogy, is currently being made into a TV series. I just finished screenwriting episode 6 of season 1. Oh, wow. Talk about some action. This is season 1 is a total white knuckle ride. If you've read Two Earths, One Race for Time, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It just goes quick, and you find yourself at the end of the book, and oh my gosh, can I please have volume 2? Yes. So that's how you get it. Amazon or Barnes & Noble, we have the Kindle, Nook, and paperback versions, and if you buy any of those, I will give you the audio version for free. Now, let's get back to the globalist strategy, because it's very important that you pay close attention tonight. If you're listening tomorrow morning on the archives at tfr.com/X2 radio, working on your favorite project or driving across the frozen tundra out there, don't worry about it. It's not too late, because the subpoena cannon is going to be fired tomorrow. We've been predicting it, and now it's going to happen. We wonder why they have the confidence to do this, but I'm going to explain that to you in this segment. Since the last World War, the ability to fight wars anywhere, anytime, has been used as a proxy tactic to destroy America. The Soviets used it against us. The Caliphate uses it to this day. But make no mistake, there is a globalist syndicate that is so powerful that it takes on supernatural abilities. Since the moment President Trump announced he was going to bring America home from senseless foreign wars, the folks down at Wars R Us have been going insane. You would almost think this is why they exist, but it is not. You see, a strange thing happens to a soul when it's called up to fight. Normal dads and moms turn into cold-blooded killers. They bomb, shoot, and slice up the enemy, who has been reduced to a number, or the equivalent of a loose rodent. The souls of those men and women who do the shooting, who do the slicing, who do the bombing, are lost once that occurs. Right or wrong, this is what happens to the soldier. The Dark Lord knows this. So, a call for love and peace is seen as a death knell for the Dark Lord. Just as President Trump is ushering in a 1,000-year period of peace and prosperity for everyone who wants it, two of the most fearsome nations on earth are ordered to begin fighting. At about 8:25 last night, word got out that spy satellites had picked up transporter erector launchers. These are known as TELs. Vehicles. They're like giant tank treads. And on these tank treads are platforms. And on the platform, on the tank treads, are missiles. Just like when we get ready to launch the space shuttle. We don't haul the space shuttle out there and erect it, in front of that big erector set before it takes off. It drives out there. It's built and held inside of a building. It's all put together. And then it drives out there, and then the crew is put into it. It's fueled, and it's launched. These TELs inside Pakistan were removed from their storage facilities with the missiles on them. An hour later, visual verification was sent out by sources on the ground in Pakistan. The missiles are confirmed. Very important to understand. You won't hear this in the news. The missiles are confirmed to be the Shaheen-3 medium-range ballistic missile, and they are armed with nuclear warheads. Now, just let me put into parentheses right here why these negotiations in North Korea were so important last week, why it was vital that President Trump go there and speak face-to-face with Little Kim. Did they come to an agreement? No. Because basically Little Kim said, look, take off all the sanctions, and then we'll sit down and talk. Just like the Democrats saying, hey, start government back up, and then we'll start negotiations about funding for the wall. Same exact tactic. In fact, same exact commander. The Democrat Party is not the leadership in this country. No. The Democrat Party is a soldier outfit. They're nothing more than a battle group for the globalist syndicate. Little Kim is nothing more than a junkyard dog for the globalist syndicate. The globalist syndicate wants to accomplish something, as I began saying. They want to capture this world. Do they care about Donald Trump? Hell no. They don't hate Donald Trump. They know Donald Trump. He's a flawed man. We elected him, flawed man that he is, and he admits that he's flawed, makes no bones about it. They don't care about him. They hate you. The globalist syndicate hates you. They want you brought to your knees. And how are they going to do that? They have one of two ways. They're either going to commit a terror act inside this country, or, and of course that terror act will be make 9/11 look like, a hiccup. Not thousands of people, millions of people dead. Or they will have a global event that will crash the economy. Just like they did in 1929. When Hoover was president, the economy was rocking it, man. Nothing could stop it. That's why they call it the Roaring 20s. Because the middle class came to be. People were able to leave the farms, buy a car, travel the world. They were making money. For 20 years, things were unbelievable, just unbelievable. And Hoover was an engineer. He was cutting out red tape. He was getting government out of the way after World War I. He was getting government out of the way. He was letting the creative engines of America drive the world into an unprecedented era of industrial growth and prosperity. Globalist syndicate did not want that to happen, Earth Explorers, so they crushed it. They got their billionaire friends out of the way. They put their money into hard assets like gold or steamships or real estate or buildings, and then they evacuated the money supply. They crashed it. They closed the banks. They shut off the people from their money. And what was worth $1 became worth a penny. What was worth $1 million became worth $2. And the globalist syndicate was then able to liquefy their things, go right back into that community, and they didn't buy buildings. They bought city blocks. They didn't buy a berth on a ship. They bought the ship. They didn't buy a rail car. They bought the railroad. The middle class evaporated like a puddle in the noonday sun. And all that was left were the working poor and the billionaires. And that's exactly the way the globalist syndicate wants it. Now we have another great builder, another great red tape cutter, another great man saying, get government out of the way, transfer power from government back to the people. No. That's war, my friends. Because from 1929, after they defeated Hoover in 1930 and put Roosevelt in there, or 1932 and put Roosevelt in there, they started an era of fascism, and it has not stopped. Government has become bigger and bigger and more powerful and more oppressive, and now it rules the world. Well, almost all the world. There's one group left. One defender of freedom and liberty on the earth left. And you say, oh, that's America. No, not actually. It's the armed American. The armed American is the only thing standing in between their goal and what they want to accomplish and where they are right now. So why is this important? Because the question we have to ask is, why would these TELs, why were they set into motion? Why did Pakistan move these things out of their buildings where they're stored? Why are these nuclear missiles now deployed? Why would they risk losing them to an air attack? Or did they deliberately want the missiles to be seen by spy satellites? Well, as it turns out, they were not moved out for a quick wash and wax, Earth explorers. They were actually moved to launch locations. This is a big deal. They weren't out there for a parade. Why launch locations? If fired from southeastern Pakistan, the Shaheen-3 can hit India's Nicobar and Andaman Islands, which are west of Thailand, India, which is where it's believed that the Indians have placed their own nuclear assets. And at present, it's not known if Pakistan intends a first strike. I just don't know. I'm just don't know. I'm just setting the stage for you. They know that if India launches a ground invasion, they will be defeated in a matter of days. The Pakistanis cannot withstand the Indian army. India's been preparing for many decades for this, for a two-front war with Pakistan and China at the same time. And as far as I can tell, they have never lost a war ever in history. They're very smart. In fact, it's often said India has more honor students than America has students. Very smart. And they are extremely intelligent. And they are very, very well armed. And they outnumber any army in the hemisphere with the best physically trained soldiers in the world. Oh, and one more thing. And this is kind of important. None of them fear death because they believe in reincarnation. Now, yesterday, India turned over their national highway 1A to military control. That would be the equivalent of Interstate 40 in the United States, comes from California all the way, to Virginia. That would be like Interstate 40 being turned over to the federal government. The drawbridges come down, and they say no non-essential vehicles on this freeway. We want to be able to move our army very quickly with no traffic jams. Nobody gets on I-40 but the federal government. Would that alert you? Would that alarm you? Yeah, it would. Believe me. No trucks, nothing but military vehicles. It would greatly alarm you, and it did Pakistan as well. This is their main interstate system in the far north of India, and there's only one reason to do that. Create a logistics chain to support a ground invasion to take back all of Jammu and Kashmir from Pakistan control. It would be like America, sending the entire National Guard from eastern United States to California to seize the state of California. California would be up in arms, to say the least. Okay? Apparently, in an effort to de-escalate things, Pakistan Prime Minister Khan told a joint sitting of parliament that Pakistan that he would be releasing a captured India fighter jet pilot whose plane was shot down by Pakistan in their territory. Now, for its part, India does not seem interested at all in these developments because India says their airstrike against Jaish el-Muhammad terror camps was targeted retaliation for a terror attack against India on February 14th, which was Valentine's Day, which killed 40 India police officers. That's a significant amount. India feels it has the right to attack these terror camps inside Pakistani territory. India also says that Pakistan's response to those airstrikes was to target India military sites and military gear. In other words, it was an act of war. India Defense Ministry, the IDM, they said, we believe that the Pakistan air intrusion was an attack on military installations. We believe that the Indian Air Force pilot was ill-treated by the Pakistani army in violation of the Geneva Convention. India claims it did not target any civilians or military installations, but Pakistan escalated by targeting Indian military installations. India did not deliberately cross into Pakistani territory. It was just the only way to get an angle for the attack. India is doing everything it can to avoid war with Pakistan. But guess what happened? Yeah, artillery shelling has developed, and it's ongoing this hour between Pakistan and India and positions along the LOC. Now, one military intel source says, every time I try to think rationally about this situation, I remember that the Pakistanis protected Osama bin Laden for years in the middle of a neighborhood surrounded by military staffers. This may require a phone call from the White House to keep these two nations from plunging the region into war and destroying the global economy, because trust me, if they start shooting the big hardware at each other, it's not going to be good. They have over 140 nuclear warheads each. But then again, that's exactly what the Democrats are trying to accomplish. The globalist syndicate wants this conflict to happen. They wanted Little Kim to blow up these negotiations in Korea. They assured him that Trump would fold. He did not. He did not sign anything. He walked. And this is their plan. The globalist syndicate believes that if they can plunge the global community into or trying to stop a conflict of this scale, that it will direct the headlines away from the success that Donald Trump is having leading the capitalist society of the world into the 1,000 years of peace and prosperity for the world. This is their goal. This is what they want to do. They want to stop this from happening. So tomorrow morning, about 8 o'clock Eastern time, it's about 5 o'clock California time when you guys are still sleeping, the subpoena cannon is going to fire. 60 individuals, multiple subpoenas, are going to go out to friends, family, associates, lawyers, accountants, insurance people, bankers who dealt with Donald Trump virtually all of his life. This is a strategy, because Gerald Nadler is using law as a weapon to overthrow the government. He wants to overthrow the elected government of the United States of America. This is the plan. Now, how can you stop that? How can you stop that? What are you going to do? You can't call up the FBI. They're corrupt. You can't call up the DOJ. That's not going to work. Congress is going to issue its own subpoenas. So what do? You say to Congress, well, you could subpoena to your heart's end, but I'm not coming. I'm busy that day. I'm getting a pedicure. I'm closing on a house. I'm selling my yacht. I'm going to the movies. I'm doing my hair. I'm not coming to your stupid subpoena. All right, so then what does Congress do? Well, Congress can do several things. First of all, they could, I guess, call up the Capitol Police and say, go put that guy in chains and bring him here before Congress. Well, that's not going to look very good, is it? They used to be able to call up the FBI and say, oh, well, go raid his house at 2 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning and put his wife out in the front yard naked with nothing but a towel around her and take everything. Take all of his records, take all of his computers, take his car, and let's go through everything and let's put him in jail in solitary confinement. Yes, you could do that, except that now we have a new attorney general. I don't think William Barr is going to do that. I don't think that's Andrew McCabe. I don't think that's James Comey. I don't think it's any of these people that have been fired, that have been charged, that have been jailed. That I don't think it's part of that. What I think the second thing that Congress can do is Congress can then say, oh, well, this is obstruction of justice. None of these people will answer the subpoena because they're trying to protect Donald Trump. This is because Trump has contacted them. Trump has somehow tampered with the witness, and now they're not going to respond to the subpoena. This is another tack that could be taken in the news. The third thing that can happen, and I think this is probably the most likely, because Gerald Nadler kind of let it leak today in one of his diarrhea of the mouth moments on the news today, because he dearly loves the sound of his own voice. This is what he said. Basically, it was, look, we want to impeach the president. We realize that right at this moment here, March 3rd, it's probably not all that popular of an idea with the people. But it's our job. What we're going to do is a massive marketing plan. And we're going to sell the American people, and we're going to sell the Republicans on the idea of impeaching this president. We don't really know what for, but that doesn't really matter. Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's high crimes and misdemeanors. It doesn't matter if he's unfit. It doesn't matter if he colors his hair. It doesn't matter. What matters is getting him the hell out of office. Because as long as he's there, he is undoing the institutions of government that they have painstakingly set up. And it's true. That's exactly what he is doing. You know why? Because that's exactly why we sent him there. We sent Donald Trump to Washington to dismantle the institutions that the globalist syndicate has set up inside our government. Donald Trump is there to take apart these onerous organizations, hundreds of them, over 650 of them, set up to take America and convert it, as Bernie Sanders would say, to transform it, to transform America into a socialist government. It ain't going to happen. This is the conflict. This is the globalist strategy. Use those four things that I talked about: education, entertainment, legislation, and litigation. You're seeing the legislators do their part to attack America, to destroy America. They want to transform America into a socialist society. In Bernie's socialist society, there is no private ownership of property. Your deed becomes meaningless. The money that you have in the bank doesn't belong to you anymore. It belongs to the bank. They're going to redistribute it. All the holdings and stock, precious metals that you own, those aren't yours anymore. Those belong to the federal government. The health care plan that you have, the insurance that you have, meaningless. It's all going to be turned over to the government now. Everything is going to be distributed by them. The capitalist society will end. This is their strategy. This is what they want to do. The only way that we can stop them, we have basically 20 months to prepare. Yes, there's going to be a lot of sidestepping. There's going to be a lot of lawyering up. These subpoenas are going to turn into the biggest shit show, dog show you ever saw in your life. In the next 20 months, we must marshal Americans to run for election. And we've got to replace these people. Gerald Nadler can be gone in 20 months. Cortez, Tlaib, Omar, Pelosi, they could all be gone in 20 months. But we need you. We need you to go out and look for the good in someone every single day and help it to grow. And before long, we can save this planet. This is X Squared Radio. My name is Brooks Agnew.
And may be called upon by concentrating your thought energy with definite purpose.